Hello everyone, welcome to painting. We are gonna have a good time. So hopefully you have your spot set up similar to what I have right here and you are ready to rock and roll, my friends. So let's do this. Make sure that you have a napkin, your palette, everything here. We are about to paint something super cool. All right, so first things first, my friends. This painting is going to require different shades of blue. All right, so let me show you how we're going to do that. Go ahead and open up your blue, if you can, very carefully. There you go, and we're going to need our white open as well. I'm going to open up my black right now too, okay? We're going to be using a little bit of all of these right now. All right, so the first thing I want you guys to do is grab your red brush, and we've got to create the shade that we want. So take a big scoop of your blue, big kind of chunk, and you're gonna grab your egg carton looking palette and put it right there, okay? Then just go ahead and set this brush to the side for a second, and I want you to grab your orange brush, and you're gonna get just a little bit of white. Oh, I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. Just a little bit of white, okay? And you're gonna put that in your blue, and you're gonna mix it. Mix those colors together. This is just gonna create just a little different shade of blue. There we go. There we go. Okay, go ahead and set that brush in the water, because this is the guy we're going to be playing with. Right now we're going to create our sky, okay? So I'm going to close up my blue and white, but leave my black ready to get into as I need. All right, so you're just going to take some of that blue, just lighten up a little from the natural blue we had. And what I need you to do is put your canvases together. This is going to help us make sure our lines are nice and crisp, okay? And we're making the sky, so just a little above halfway, I want you to drag this color. If you get a little extra, that's okay. Just drag this color over. See how I went from one canvas to the next? Keeping that horizon line as even as I can. Went down a little farther, and we can cover, if it went a little lower, no big deal. We can totally cover that up. All right, once you have that, go ahead and just, you can move these apart now. We know where our lines are. And you can just fill in that sky. So I kind of like to get it a little closer to me, and I'll pick it up and just get all the edges. Now these canvases are so teeny. So you want to make sure to finish the whole thing. If you only do the front of these, it kind of looks a little weird, okay? So go ahead and cover that whole, might be easiest just to cover the front and then do the sides. Figure out your groove, my friends. Alright, just get that on there nice and thick. You want to cover up all the little white spots, okay? We don't want any of those showing, and we want it nice and thick because we're actually going to be blending a little black here on the side. You can see it, you just go straight over and then fill it in the whole top. But we're going to be blending some black in. So I have, you know, it's wet and it's on there decently thick, and that's a good thing because I need it to be. I'm doing this fairly quickly because I don't want it to dry yet. All right, because we're going to do that blending. Just be careful with that horizon line, then you can kind of go crazy. Now these acrylic paints are nice. Nothing's set in stone. We can kind of erase if we ever need. With enough water and pressure, we can just paint over if we need. Like they're so nice to work with. There's that one. Get our third guy over here. At this point, it doesn't matter where these are. They're not in any order because they're exactly the same. But eventually, we are going to care about the order because there's different things going on with each, as you will see as it comes up. Okay. Voila. Now, I'm going to just dip this, the top of my brush into my black, okay? So I don't have a ton, but I have enough that it's gonna change. I'm gonna do a streak here, get a little more streak here, a little more streak here. Now I keep working this way, so left to right, because that's the order of the paint going on. So I don't want something to dry. I don't want to keep working on this one and forgetting about this one. So the paint should still be wet. And so you can blend this black into there. And I'm just going to go side to side with this. Don't forget to do your top. You really shouldn't have to go back into your paints too much. But however, if you did get too much black on there and you're like, no, don't love it, go right back into your blue and cover it up until it lightens up to what you want. But you want this. This is the night sky, so we're making it just a little darker. Now, if you find yourself painting and it does kind of dry up on you, grab just a little bit of water and it will liven that back up, okay? So I'm painting that blue streak, mainly sticking to the top. I feel like this one needs a little more. I don't like those brush strokes in the middle of my painting, so I try to make sure I'm going all the way across. All right, one more. Look at what just that little bit of black has already done. It makes it look more like a sky. So cool. Okay, working that in. I might have gone too far with the black, so I'm going to add just a little blue down at the bottom. And I'm being careful to get my edges. Oh, I see some white showing through. Going to cover that up. It's never too late. And voila, love it. Now I do have this chunk of blue right here. I'm just going to kind of drag it down so it dries, because I'm going to just cover it up with the next blue. So hopefully you don't have to do that, but if you do, not a big deal. I want you to kind of just gently go over any parts that are sticking up a little too much. Drag it down so they can dry. And like I said, we're going to just blend right over those. Okay, you guys, good job. Looking good. All right, let's get that water on here. So we have a blackish blue brush, so we need to clean that out because we're going to be using that again. So clean it out really good. Swish it around in that water, push against the bottom, tap around. I like to kind of pull my excess water out. And then it doesn't have to be perfect because we're still playing in the blue, so I'll just kind of tap it down and keep going. All right, so this blue we want to make even lighter, okay? So, and we're going to need a little bit more of it because we're doing more down here. So grab another big chunk, and I'm just going to, I don't like to waste paint, so I'm going to put it right back into that carton. And I want to even, like, pretty much use most of your blue. Keep a little extra in for finishing touches if needed. So I use most of my blue now. Okay, and I'm going to go back to this brush. Actually, no, I don't want to get any blue in here. So I'm just going to take my yellow brush now. No, I'm going to take my purple brush because I need more paint to lighten this up. So I'm going to do 1 scoop, 2 scoops. And this is going to be my mixer now. All right, so I got almost 2 big scoops of my blue and then 2 big scoops of my white, but with different brushes. So they're not like 1 to 1. It's more like 2 to 1 ratio. Ooh, I'm loving that color. So it's definitely different. I mean, you can see here from the side, it's definitely a lighter blue. It's gonna work great. All right, you can put your mixer back there. Now I'm not worried. I have this darker blue in here. You can kind of wipe it out a little bit, but I'm not gonna clean it out because it's just blue on blue. All right, now if you're having a hard time seeing your horizon lines, go ahead and put those guys back together if you need to. Close you up for a second. And off we go. You know the drill now. Start on one side and carefully go to the next. See how I just covered that right up? That's why I wasn't worried about it. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of fill this in while we go. The top anyway. All right, now we're gonna go right here. Follow that line. Good job. Just take your time. No races here. There we go. Kind of clean out my brush, get that excess paint out while covering. Okay, let's do our last side and then we'll do the nitty-gritty parts. And we're going to do a little shading in this water at this point. So get excited. That's one of my favorite things, is when just blending paint and seeing it just come to life. Just adding a teeny bit of variety to it. Okay. Awesome. Gonna go over this. Again, putting it on there nice and thick because we're gonna be blending. Go back to this side and work on your edges. Straight down the edge right there. On the bottom. Bad news, you are going to get just a little bit of paint on your fingers. Good news, it comes out so easily, so no worries, my friends. Good news, bad news. Okay, now you just have this last corner to do. Just set it down. Like so. Smooth out any of those blobs you might have. Okay, going to my next one. I just find it's easier to start on this side where my hand isn't, so I can just stay holding that side till that last corner needs to be done. Covering it up. Voila. All right. Get this one done. Oh, I just told you how I like to do it and then I went out of order. I kind of just get in a flow and go with whatever. But truly, I do like to usually start on this side. All right. Covering it up, smoothing it out to get this bottom corner. And I can see a little white down here, so just see it coming through. Just cover it on up. There we go. I have a night sky. I have an ocean, but I want to add a little to this water. I don't want to, it's not cool to have it just one color to me. So now I'm going to go to my yellow brush and I'm going to add a little white to my blue. We are now taking it a shade lighter. All right, so let's do 2 scoops again. You know how it works, 2 scoops. Kind of stick to one side so you don't have to mix all the paint. You can kind of keep a little of your other color on the other side, or you could just pull this all the way over here. Maybe I'll do that. Then I won't get confused. No, no, I have that darker color to work with. Now this is just subtle. It's not a lot lighter, just kind of subtle, okay? I'm just gonna stick with this brush and I'm gonna do a little, the moon's gonna be right in the center. So kind of my light is gonna start, my lighter blue will start up here and taper as we go. So I'm gonna start on this side and do just a few lines across the horizon, okay, and then kind of going like this and pull down some of your paint. Just kind of streak it on there. So I don't know if you can see that. It really is just subtle, and if you want it more drastic, add a little more white, but I want mine just to be kind of, it's there, but not like, what are those light blue streaks doing in there, you know? Just kind of go back and forth. And then by the time I get to this point, I'm done. Okay? It's, like I said, super subtle. Focusing more on the light blue on the top. Love that. All right. I am going to lighten this one up just a little more. I'm going to grab a little more white. And I'll use it right here because I want to keep that for my other side. So I'm just going to do a lighter blue right here because this is right where the reflection of the moon is going to be. So I want it lighter because it's definitely going to be lighter with that reflection. All right. Not cleaning out my brush really. Well, actually, I am going to. It's really gloppy. Okay, go back into that light blue I just made. And I'm going to carry this line across the whole thing. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of, I'm going back and forth. Okay. And then just start streaking these on. And as you can see, it's just a tad lighter than before. Now this is the fun part of this painting. You have such a small space to be creating something super cute. So just take your time and be intentional with all of your strokes. Okay. All right, I'm gonna kind of just go a little farther down here. What about there? Okay. Can you guys see that? Just a little lighter. I also have some excess paint I'm gonna just kind of smooth out. A little lighter there. There we go. That water is coming to life. Okay, going back to my medium light one. There we go. Okay. Awesome. I'm loving this. Come on, you guys. A little therapeutic, right? Okay. There we go. Make your final touches. If you see anything else that you want to add, now's the time. I'm going to be adding just one more thing, so you should too. Right where this boat and the moon is, I'm going to make it even lighter. So how I'm going to do that, I'm not going to create anything new. I'm just going to go into my white, and I'm going to streak a little bit of this on. Kind of got carried away right there. That's okay. Wipe out my brush and blend this in just a little more. Go back and forth. If it got too blended, you just go a little more in your brush. Now when you get to this point where you want the color to really stand out, you have to have a soft hand. You can't just kill it and keep going crazy, okay? You have to have just a light touch and barely, like I'm barely touching the canvas here because I want to keep some of this white coming out. Okay. I might do just a little white at the top here, just to show that these are coming into each other, you know what I mean? Subtle. Okay, so now it's a lot more than just a blue sky and just blue water. You can see some dimension here. We got some waves going on. We got some shining moon going on. Love that. So fun. We are at work here, my friends. We're doing it. Okay. Now what we need to do is let this dry. So this is a good chance, if you're not to this point, catch up to this point, but we're gonna let these dry. And in the meantime, what I want you guys to do is wash out your brushes just a little bit. So if we need them, we'll be ready for them. And they don't have to be perfect. Kind of just clean them out, set them to the side. Okay. This will probably need about 5 minutes to dry up. So go get yourself a drink, or go run up and down the stairs, or do something active and get ready to work. I bet you wanted to watch me clean my brushes, right? All right, you guys, see you in about 5 minutes. Welcome back, you guys. All right, you should have a fairly dry canvas now. So let's get to the fun part, okay? All those little details that are gonna make this painting these paintings so cute. All right, what we need this time is our purple brush. Now, if you didn't clean it out yet, do that now. And I'm just gonna try to get it really clean. I know you got blue water, and maybe that's something while it was drying. I should have told you can switch it out. I didn't tell you, and I didn't clean mine, so I'm just gonna let it be, okay? If you just pull out all that excess water and just give it a good twirl, you should be totally fine. All right, so painting, the order you do it obviously matters, just because while something's drying, you can be working on something else, and the shading and all that, blah, blah, blah. So we're gonna put our moon on first, and we're gonna put on the whole moon, let it dry so we can work on our boat after that. So just go ahead and open up your white, and with your purple brush, just get a little. Now this is more of a foundation. You're still gonna see blue coming through, and I need you to not worry about that, okay? Because we can put on another layer if we need to. Some of you might have a darker sky and you're like, yeah, I need that. Or some of you might like the blue moon. You know, it's totally your preference. So let's just get started and see how it turns out. Now, you know, I was gonna hold it, but I'm wondering if putting it down will be the smarter idea. What I like to do, just to help me get a good circle, is I'll set my brush down kind of where I want it to end and bring it up, and I make a plus sign, okay? So there's that, and go kind of, you know, this way you can gauge, okay, I want my moon to end right there. Now I'm gonna do a fairly large moon. So I do a plus sign so I know a little more, I have a little more direction on where I'm going. All right, now it's time to kind of connect the dots. So I'll put my brush down here, swivel down here, and keep doing that with a decent amount of paint. Now this is just for reference right now. We'll touch it up and get this looking like we want. All right. I kind of like to just think of making a C right there. I guess this is kind of like making an O, but for whatever reason, thinking of a C going one way and then C going the other way is helpful to me. All right, and as you can see, it's already turning blue, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, this is just kind of a foundation. Now check out your moon. Are you loving the shape? I can tell mine's a little lopsided. Circles are tricky. They can keep growing if you let them. See, just like that. Now I'm okay to let this grow just a little bit. And I'm kind of flattening out the bottom because that's where it's hitting the horizon. And I'm okay with the illusion that the moon is super big and half of it, well, not half of it, but a bit of it is behind the horizon line and going into the water. There you go, you guys. How's your moon coming? Now you don't want this paint super thick. That's why I keep going over it, just fixing up where I really want everything to be. Now if you have some dark blue coming through, try to fine up those lines the best that you can without making it grow. There. Okay, it's a little more technical, and if it's taking you a second, no shame in that. It's obviously taking me like 20,000 seconds. Okay, so I have this light blue moon I'm super proud about. Now just realize yours is going to look different. You're a different painter, okay? So if everyone's was the same, it'd be kind of boring. I think personally I could just, you know, copy this and give it to everyone, but this is yours. So make that moon and own it, my friend. All right, let's put this brush in the water, let it live there for a second. We're going to close up that white while we let that dry, okay? And it shouldn't take too long to dry, but we have other things we can be working on now. So what I want you to do now is grab your orange brush. Again, if it's not clean, just clean it up just a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, especially since we're going to be playing in the black now, okay? Now that I have that moon on there drying, I'm going to just go my left to right. What we're making here is some silhouettes of islands and lands, or whatever you want to call it. So go right to the horizon line and make a black land line. Now, it's not going to be perfect. If yours is a little jaggedy, that's perfect. That's more realistic. All right, this is just kind of this gentle slope. And voila. Okay, get that on there. You need to get it closer to you. You can pick it up. I kind of have light reflecting on mine, so I want to pick it up a little bit. There you are. Like, super subtle, but look, it already looks amazing. Like, I have this landmass right here. And again, you want to cover every part of this and carry through whatever you're doing. So I have a little mountain hillside right there. I'm going to make sure that that is showing up on the side of my canvas. Now I do have some paint that's kind of, it's not totally flat, and I like that for mountains especially. I think it's kind of cool to have some of that texture in there. Granted, when it dries it will flatten out a lot, but I'm going to keep that because I like it coming off just a bit. Okay, so that's our far away land piece. Now I'm going to do a closer one. So this one, it's all about perspective. So this one's a little closer, so it's going to be bigger. And you just kind of go with whatever you want, whatever you're feeling. Basically, I know that I want to start up here, and I know that I want to get lower by the end. So I do a rough, just crude line. And then if there's too much paint, of course, I'll pull it out. Okay, and then fill it in and get a feel for what that's looking like. Now, I don't love this, so I'm going to smooth it out just a bit. Make sure to have a decent amount of paint in your brush while you do this, so you don't have to go over it a ton because it doesn't have a hard black line. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that shape better. There we are. You guys know the rules. Let's finish it out. Here on the side, I'm going to go straight down, and then I'm going to paint the bottom. Now the reason you're like, we already painted it blue, why are we double doing this? I like to have a color behind just in case I don't cover it all the way, or in this case with the white, like obviously I'll pull some color through, and I think it just makes it fun. You know? I hope you're having fun. I know I am. Okay. Get that corner. Oh my goodness! Every layer of this just makes it so cool. I get so excited about these things. Alright, let's do the bottom of this guy now. So I do want to make sure that I'm matching this up. I did my first one, which was awesome, but now I do want to match this up. I'm gonna, and this is just, again, sticking around the bottom. But I'm not going straight over. That would be boring. I'm making it, you know, a little jaggedy. Okay, so I've touched down, matched up, so now I feel like I can move this over and get to work. Just pull down if you have too much paint. You could put in some finer little bumps and jagged rocks on there, whatever you want. Finishing this straight down and cover that bottom. Oh, my fingers are sticky. Ah! Sticking to the canvas. Voila. Okay, last thing, we want to get everything matching up over here. Okay. So I have this, and I'm gonna just, and you can go back over it just to make sure. Now I'm gonna start going up gradually. Get that shape you want. Once you kind of have it, pull down that paint and finish this bad boy off. All right, I'm gonna paint the top, the top of the canvas. all black down here. Get going with my bottom and sides. My fingers just keep getting stuck on the corners. Just be careful as you pull. The canvas could pull away from its frames, so just take your time pulling off your sticky fingers. Okay. Oh my goodness. We've got one more landmass we're going to put right here. And then, get excited, we're putting on a lighthouse. I know. You're like, what? How can we do that? We really can do that, you guys. You're that awesome. Okay, I'm getting a lot of buildup in my brush, and feel free to do this anytime. If you just have a ton of paint, wipe it out. Okay, especially if you're going to use the same color. Don't worry about washing it out unless you feel so inclined. Just wipe it out on your napkin. That's what it's for. So I'm going to start fresh, especially since we're going to be doing some details. Well, putting on a little lighthouse. You just want to have it good to go. All right, so just like the other side, you're going to put a black line on the horizon. Okay, got a little light glare, so I need to lift that up for a second. All right, and then don't try to mimic what's going on there. Make this its own hill. It's going to look a little different. The only similarity is it starts low and goes up. But all land is very different, right? And I was a little more intentional to make a flat area-ish thing right there so that the lighthouse has somewhere to sit. Okay, so it's not super slopey. I do have kind of a flat area that I can add that lighthouse. All right. Finishing off the side. I like that. Get off my finger. Sticky fingers. Oh, I'm getting my paint off down here. Okay, now's the fun part. Don't let this stress you out. All I need you to think is kind of like a mushroom, okay? And we're gonna use, go ahead and put that brush in your water, and I want you to go to your green guy. He should be pointed. He should be ready to go. He hasn't gotten dirty yet. And this will just help with our control for this part. And this does not take a lot of paint. So just get up there on the tip. Now if you have to hold it closer to your eyeballs, please do that. Okay. And then all I'm going to do right now is make a line. Okay, that's the top to the bottom of my lighthouse. Now, you may not be able to see that too well, but good news, we do a little highlighting with this, so you should be able to see it. Okay, so I have that top to bottom. Now, I'm going to create almost like a roof, but it's like a flat roof. Or kind of picture, so I have a little poking out right here. That's the actual lighthouse part. I'm going to round that out, and then I'm going to do this little roof / mushroom top. All right. And then I'm going to come in from that and just go straight down. Okay, so I'm going to go in for that, go straight down. It kind of looks like a baby's bottle. That is what this looks like. Think giant baby bottle. Okay, I'm not pushing hard because I don't want to ruin that fine tip of my green brush. I like it staying kind of what's the word, stiff? Yeah. Okay, so it's subtle, right? Just kind of subtly here, our baby bottle / lighthouse. Because these are so small, we're not going to get into fine detail here. And you don't want to get into fine detail, my friend, because it would be super hard. We're keeping it easy today. All right, that brush is going in the water. Now I don't want to start adding my yellowish white highlight until that dries. So while that's drying, I'm going back to my moon. Let's revisit it, okay? Go back to your purple brush. That's what we were using on it. Wash it out. Really pull out all that water so you don't get that surprise blue, okay? Pulling it out best that I can. I'm gonna close up this black and go back to my white. Don't knock your water down. P.S. That would be bad. Okay, so I have my brush going into my white. Now if you have any blue in there, try to avoid it at this point and just go right to white areas. Now with that thick paint, I'm gonna go around my edges the best that I can. I kind of anchor my hand down on here, the back of my hand, so I can steady it. And this is where we really want to clean up any choppy edges. Okay, so you have a good amount of paint. Got too much on there. Anchoring my hand down. And I'm trying to go, I like my shape, so I'm just going slowly around the edges. I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want the blue to start coming back through. Okay, doing the same thing down here. Now don't worry about the center of your moon yet. We'll smooth out those brush strokes. Right now I'm just trying to get a solid line. Ta-da! Now you're still going to have a little blue coming through. I personally think it's perfect because it looks like a real moon. Okay, and then just lightly go over it, smooth out anything that you want. That moon is just about done. Okay, at this point we are done with this brush. And really remember there's going to be a ship here. So if there's a part you don't love, I wouldn't worry about it there on the bottom. I'd get this top part more like where you want it. Don't get crazy about that. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm adding just a bit of yellow. Okay? Just a teeny bit of yellow. So I went to my blue brush. I have wet white paint here, which is what I want. And I'm going to add just a hint of color here. Okay? So don't get too uniform on where you're putting it. Just kind of put it down. And then start blending it. Now the more you keep blending, the more it's just going to turn into a white yellow. So if you want some of it sticking out, don't overblend. Now again, soft, soft, soft. If you go too hard here, you're going to bring too much blue out and you're going to mess up the look of your white, and you're going to have to go over it again. And I don't want you to have to do that, okay? I don't want you to do that. There it is. Did you see that? That was just 2 or 3 little bristles of yellow, and now look at this moon just popping. I love that. Now while we have this little brush, we're going to be using the yellow again, so just leave it open and kind of wipe it out while we go into the white. We're going to make some the shine from the lighthouse, the light. We're going to create that right now. So at the top of that baby's bottle / lighthouse, I want you to pull some streaks coming out, okay? Not a ton. This is not overboard. This is just a subtle little light coming from the top of this lighthouse. Okay, and then I want you just to pull that paint out. Keep going over it. This seriously was such a small amount of paint. Okay, just kind of enough. Now, I'm not making a perfect triangle and filling it in. I'm letting some of these light streaks be a little longer. These light beams. There you go. And then close that white, go back into that yellow. I want you to add some yellow on top of that. So we put the white down as a foundation color, but also because it's just kind of, it lightens up the yellow, doesn't make it so, like, what is that? Kind of blends with the moon too, what we did there. All right. Now, by the time you get to this point, your lighthouse should be dry. It just wasn't thick to begin with. And we have a nice pointy brush here, so we're going to add just a few lines to make this pop out. Okay, so I want you to just go around. This is the moon shine up against the lighthouse, reflecting off this one side. That's why it's on this side. Okay, subtle but cute, right? And then I put a little more paint on here for these windows I'm going to do. I'm going to just set my brush down. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Isn't that so cute? Look at that coming together, you guys. Like, this piece in and of itself, super cute. This piece in and of itself, super cute. This one, I mean, it's okay. But you put these all together and it just becomes this amazing painting. All right, putting that guy in there, we are getting really close here. Now our moon, I don't know about yours, but mine is still a little wet. I can see that. So I'm gonna just work on my stars right now while I'm letting it dry, and the ship's gonna be our final thing that we do. But if you start working on the ship while you have wet paint, you're gonna have a gray ship and you might get a little frustrated, and that's the last thing I want. So we're not gonna do that. So go ahead and go back to, we put this in, our blue brush in, it had some yellow on it. You really just have to dab that in, dab it on your napkin, and it's good to go. We're gonna put our stars on. Now you can like alternate between white and yellow. I mean, you can really do whatever you want. You could have orange stars for all I care. Be kind of cool actually. But I'm just gonna do white. So with that fine brush, I dip it in my white and I'm barely touching down, okay? If you start poking hard at this, you're gonna get some wonky stars. So just kind of barely touch down. Some are a little bigger than others, right? And I'm gonna go heavier stars in the black part. Just keep dipping as much as you need. And then I'm gonna lighten, I'm not gonna do as many, and I'm gonna try to make them smaller as I get down lower. Now, I'm gonna warn you, sometimes stars are like the less is more rule. Like, you don't know when to stop. You're like, this is fun. This is so fun. I'm gonna keep poking. And then by the end, you're like, why do I have a polka dot sky? Looks ridiculous. So just be aware. Know when to stop, my friends. Know when to stop. Going right along. Let's see. I kind of go till I'm like, yep, we're done. I feel like we're done. I feel like we need a couple smaller ones. And don't make this like perfect uniform, you guys. Stars kind of go in clusters. You could get crazy and do a shooting star if you wanted. Just saying, you could. Oh, I love this. I just love you painting. Okay. How's that coming? We're still looking a little wet there. So what I want you guys to do now is take a break. Really, we don't need to rush it. We don't want to rush it. The only thing you could do this to hurry along the drying of it, but yeah, let's not rush it. So let that dry, go get another drink, do a few jumping jacks or something cool, And when that's dry, we will finish off our boat and celebrate. Okay, see you in a sec. Hi guys, welcome back. Hopefully your moon is dry and you're ready to finish off our beautiful painting, your beautiful painting. Okay, final thing, grab that green brush. And the very best you can, keep a pokiness about it, okay? I kind of just gently put it back into shape with my fingers. All right, we need to go into our black and we're gonna create the boat part. All right, it's crazy to think we're putting a boat on a canvas this size, as small as we are, but we can do it, okay? Just trust me. All right, so go into that black and we're gonna just make the outline of the bottom of the boat. All I need you to think of is banana, okay? Now what I'm gonna do, because I really wanna focus on this, is I'm gonna just kind of create some space here. All right, so it is not straight across, it's kind of going down like a smiling moon, all right? And I'm gonna go over the edge just a hair, so it's not like it's a black part of the moon, it really is its own thing. I got this fuzzy. If you have a fuzzy, cut it off or pull it out. I got one, it's longer than the other. Out of here. My goodness, where's my scissors? Get my scissors! Okay, problem solved. If you have a problem like that, get some scissors or bite it off or do something crazy. All right, here we go. Make sure I have a nice amount. And I'm just gonna do this like little black smile. Take your time. It's not a race. Make sure you have nice thick line here of paint. If you start running out, just go right back into it. You don't want the white coming through at all. Okay, and I just barely go over the side of the moon. Now I'm going to take this down, kind of following the moon a little bit. Make sure I'm in the water and then flatten out. When you're in that water, just go ahead and flatten yourself out. And then I'm going to come over here just to make sure I match okay. So I'm going down on that angle, flatten myself out. There we go. And then fill it in, just super careful. Don't push hard. This brush is obviously very good for detail, but filling things in, it's not like what it's primarily meant for. But when you're doing an area this small, it's okay. All right, at this point, I'm kind of just pulling out any extra lumpy paint. So just going over, cleaning up edges if I need to, and pulling out that extra paint, and then just kind of wiping it off. All right, let's do these sails. Now we're just gonna create 4 lines, okay? If this isn't pointy, you know what to do. You can get a little water on it and re-pull it. Mine's doing okay, so I'm gonna just leave it. All right, so let's create these sails. We're just gonna do this center one first. So this is just barely off center of your boat, okay? Just off to the right. Very lightly, see right there, I actually kind of barely pushed down on accident and it got so much more big. Is that how you say that? It got bigger. Guys, don't judge my speaking. I'm an artist, not a speaker. Okay. Voila. And I'm going to go just a little higher. I just feel like I want to. Now, this is where our triangle comes in. You get to make a little triangle. So go over, decide how big you want this flag sail thingy. Got it. And then you're just going to carefully, so carefully fill this in, okay? It really requires more just pulling paint that you already have and filling it in. One sail silhouette done. All right, I'm going to do a smaller one over here. As light as possible. Pull that paint around. There you go. Oh my goodness. Look at this coming together. Okay. We got 2 more flags going the other way. Just be really careful. I probably should have done these ones first so we don't almost get our hand in the paint. Just be careful. Okay, kind of hover. Now this sail is going to be right up against this one, but just a little shorter. And generally, all these sails are kind of the same distance off of the boat. A little shaky. I'm going to try to make that straighter. There we go. That's better. We have one more sail, you guys. Okay, I'm going to get my fresh paint. I'm going to come over here. Straight line up and down. I'm not going on an angle or anything. Holy cow, that's cute. You guys! I bet yours is better and cuter than that. But there we have it. Dun dun dun. You now have an amazing little trio. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you'll paint again. And just keep painting. Keep being creative. It's so good for you. I had a blast. I hope you did too. And we'll just see you next time. Bye.